All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Box Mining live stream. Today we have a crypto and friends episode. We'll be joined by Nathan. And hey Nathan, how's it going?
All right,
Hey,
welcome
man.
back.
How's it going?
I hear myself.
Yeah,
Nice, Nate.
I was loading the
So,
screen.
So today on today's episode, we're going to cover a lot about what's happening on the news. I mean, obviously this weekend has been unpleasant. I mean, I'm the understater of the century. It's just been bleeding blood on the streets in crypto. $400 billion plus of market cap has been wiped off. Every coin is bleeding. And you can still see that today, right now. It's not a good time. All right, let's be honest. Maybe we're bouncing a little bit as the Asian markets are waking up. But it's this weekend was bad. It was nasty. I mean, numbers like Ethereum fell down below $2,000. Bitcoin was touching $31,000 again. And on the China side, and I want to focus this on today's episode. On the China side, people were just outright screaming bloody murder, running on the streets, fleeing crypto as if there was no tomorrow. And I think a lot of people are wondering why. I think this had a lot more bite than we initially anticipated. I think last week we all saw the article issued out in China by the People's Bank of China saying, yo, digital currency is not so good, right? That was it. That was pretty much it. There wasn't much bite to the article, and most of us discarded this, counted this as Chinese FUD. But the Chinese, on the other hand, are all freaking out. There are two major rumors spreading around in China. One relates to exchanges. So this is the owners of the two biggest exchanges in China, which is Huobi and OKX. They're going into jail again, right? So it turns out that they got into questioning over the weekend and they're out today. So apparently that's one of the rumors going out. The other rumor is related to mining and that China is going to do another mining purge. And because of that mining purge, a lot of these miners are preemptively moving out of China. So these two factors actually caused most of the FUD. So the FUD isn't just related to one announcement. The FUD is more related to what rumors as to what the Chinese government is going to do. And this is a very clear situation where it's like, how in crypto we have, buy the rumor, sell the news. This is a case of, sell the FUD and probably buy the news when it does hit the market. So you definitely see a lot of that preemptive selling coming out here. And because of this fear, uncertainty, and doubt, there's a lot of fear in the markets. The rumors are spreading like wildfire. And just to take an example of this, so we have this, I saw this on the weekend. I just put this on the news. So this is Huobi is, they're saying that the platform is operating normally and they will take legal action in response to false rumors. So this is how bad it is, where key exchanges right now are coming out and targeting these rumors specifically and saying, you know what, we're going to sue your ass. We're going to sue your ass if you keep spreading these rumors. So that's kind of what's happening in China right now. It's on every single chat group. These rumors are spreading like wildfire and it's causing a lot of fear. So I think we don't see that in the West as much. You don't see those WeChat groups, and a lot of these WeChat groups have limited to 500 people per group, which means that to get a good feel of everything, it's actually extremely hard. But that's kind of what's floating around. So we're going to cover that. Nate's going to cover some stuff on his side as well, which is related to what's happening in the Western front and seeing what a lot is happening on the buying front. I think the Western front is actually quite positive, right, Nate?
Yeah. A lot of us are still pretty bullish. A lot of my friends are still, accumulating and learning about it. Most of the people that have just gotten started, this is their first rec, and so they're holding on for dear life, as they like to say.
They're scared. Yeah, they're scared shitless, right? And a lot of these people, I guess, and they can't affect the markets too much. It's a lot of it's fear, but then a lot of people just, if they're down 70%, why not, right? Just hodl, right? So it feels like, it feels a little bit like that, where it might be the fear. But are you getting people who contact you and saying, look, I'm scared shitless, this is the worst thing in the world for me?
Yeah, a few people are saying that it's like really brutal, but they don't really know what's going on. A lot of them, some of them bought like at 48, or they bought like, you know, so a lot of them are getting wrecked, and they don't really know what to do. But you know, there's nothing that they can do. You know, they can buy more, but I mean, at some point, if you keep doing the dips, you're just gonna run out of money. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because same thing happened to me. I bought the dip a little bit too early when I thought, okay, look, you know, this China FUD, it doesn't seem to have too much to it, but I didn't anticipate how much fear there could be. I didn't anticipate the rumor side of everything. I think that was the part I didn't anticipate for this. So, anyways, let's go through everything today. So we're gonna cover all the news we're gonna cover the markets, and we're gonna just kind of talk to everyone, answer a lot of people's questions, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, guys, if you guys are new to the box mining live stream, and you're new to this channel, make sure you smash the likes. We also have Nathan here from Crypto Knots, and Crypto Knots they're just doing a lot of you're doing a lot of content right now. Very, very high quality content explaining what everything's happening in crypto. It's one of the highest qualities I've ever seen. It's like, this is like, when I saw Nathan's channel, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to be out of business very soon. It's just, the quality is just that good. So guys, check out the Crypto Nuts channel. I'll put a link down below, and he explains pretty much everything that's going on. So make sure you do that, guys. And with that, guys, let's get started. And let me try to play the intro, but I think the intro is a little bit weird on my side. Let me see if I can get news. Let me play my intro. Boom. I think that's an intro without any sound. Congrats. It's a migration issue. So obviously, let's go over the obvious. So this weekend, Nate, how was it? Did you even look? Did you look, or did you just say, you know what, I'm having a weekend, I don't want to look?
I looked. I looked today. Somebody said it was 32, and I was like, oh, 32. So I went to go try to buy, and I realized that again, my wallet is not here. My cold wallet is back at home. So I just bought some BNB. You know, whatever I have on my MetaMask, I'm going in. I'm buying Ethereum. Just a little bit. You know, I bought all the way down in 2018. I'm buying all the way down now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty nasty, that dip, and you know, jokes aside, right? So I mean, it fell all the way to, so E fell all the way to 1,772. Very likely liquidated a lot of people that bought the dip as well. So this was pretty disastrous. And I was talking to a few traders over this weekend, and the mood was just horrific, right? Because I think I think that you know, a lot of us, like, it's easy to say buy the dip. I mean, I see that on social media all the time. It's easy to say buy the dip, but obviously we all have crypto exposure, right? We all have a lot of crypto already, and it's a situation where, yeah, I kind of did look at this and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so exposed to crypto. This is not good, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, I don't think the fundamentals have changed at all. It's more, you know, yeah, I think I think that's pretty much the case, right? So on your side as well, did you feel bad, or were you like, you know what, this is fine? You know, this is like, be honest.
I felt okay. I still feel okay. I think if Bitcoin goes under like 25 or under 20, I'm gonna start feeling like really bad. But I mean, where it's at now, I think I've been accumulating since 2018. I bought it. I don't know, for those of you who don't know, I bought it. I bought from the beginning of 2016, and I bought all the way up in 2017. I bought all the way up to 17K, and I crashed down with it, you know. And so this bull run, I decided that, you know, I was gonna you know, take more profit, because I didn't know how to take profit the first bull run, and I had to go get my old job back. I was just like, you know, hey, going up to my boss and be like, hey, you know, I talked all this trash about me making money in crypto. Since then, I've been really careful this bull run, and so I mean, I'm doing okay. I took a lot of profits at 60, 67, 65, and so now I'm looking to buy back in, and I'm still very heavily exposed, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was in 2017 or 2018, actually.
Spoken like a true veteran, true veteran. So yeah, so if you take a look at the ETH markets right now, so let me put this chart here. So this is such a weird range to trade at where we're just bleeding out like completely. Let me just delete that. Let me throw this out here. So yeah, ETH charts are just crazy. I mean, you see these giant dips, these liquidation related dips, and then it's so sharp, right? This is like I feel sorry for people who are on leverage at this point because these will wipe out a lot of positions during this time, right? And most of this is caused by leverage traders. So what happens is that when prices go down, people who had leveraged longs, they would be facing liquidation. If they don't have enough funds on their account, they could be liquidated, right? And if they do get liquidated, what happens is that their longs their longs need to be sold, right? So the exchange automatically sells their longs on their behalf, which causes more sell pressure, right? So this is the cascading effect that we've been talking about. And we've been pretty much hit by it 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 4 or 5 times during this entire cycle where the price really fell below what a lot of people anticipated. I think a lot of people expected the price to be defended at around $2,500. Let me just put that onto the 1 day mark here, a little bit more clear. Yeah, I mean, if you put it on 1 day, it's like a giant curve down, right? It's like it just as fast as it went up, it went down. And people definitely, including me, expected some support to come up at 2,500. And it did support itself for 3 days, and then it just crashed all the way back down to these levels that were very similar to the March, April level. So if you look at it like at the 1 day, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, if you've been in March, April, it was around these levels as well. But obviously now that seeing that Ethereum did peak at around 4,000, I think everyone is filled with regret that, oh no, I should have sold at 1,000. I mean, this is the human brain working at it for us again, right? Where that happens. But yet again, yes, lots of liquidations happened over the weekend. There's a lot of low volume liquidation. So I think there was a good tweet about this from Sam Trabucco, but we'll read that in a sec. But you can pretty much assume that this is what's happening at this current point. And the very similar situation goes for Bitcoin as well, where let me just load my Bitcoin charts up here. So yeah, so it fell below the golden cage that I was calling it. Bitcoin was in this cage for a little bit here, and then it just completely bled out with these spikes down here, which you can definitely see are these liquidation spikes. So definitely, guys, just be very, very careful during this time. I think it's a very clear lesson. I've learned my lesson on leverage all the way back in 2017. Yeah, that was not a cool time, you know. And I got liquidated. I guess the price at what I got liquidated at, Nate.
For ETH or for Bitcoin?
For ETH. 2017, I got liquidated. Like basically, I threw all my money in a leveraged ETH position, right? So this is like on the long. So like I had a few really good programs, and this is like before I really understood the tech, right? Like I was still very new to crypto. It was probably my first month into really trading crypto, and then I discovered leverage trade. You have a slider. Yeah, you can slide. You want to do 1x, 2x, 3x, 5x, 20x. Right. So I slid to a 5x. All right, and then I threw all my money in. But guess what price my ETH was at?
I would say 600.
600. Try again. Your magnitude's off.
1,400?
No, man. 15.
$15?
$15. $15 for 1 ETH. Yeah, $15. And I got liquidated. 15.
Oh, dang. That's early.
That is early,
like
but
really early. That's like,
yeah, that was brutal. That was my first liquidation. That was my first liquidation in crypto where I was like, you know what? I think I know what I'm doing. I like this Ethereum thing. $15 seems to be a good price. Let me slide the slider up to 5x, and bam. I think not less than 2 months, like 2 weeks later, that position was just liquidated by the exchange. The exchange doesn't even call you, right? Like I realized, oh yeah, the exchange doesn't call you when they liquidate your position. That was like, bam, game over. All your money's gone. And like you log in that account. And the worst part was, right, this was a flash crash. This is exactly one of these flash crashes here, where, like it doesn't happen for a long period of time. You know, it recovers very, very quickly, maybe hours after. And I just remember like looking at my account balance, literally saying like $15, right? Like it had thousands of dollars in there before. And I got the long position on ETH at $15. And I think when I checked again, right, which is after the flash crash, which is after this like very short burst of a crash, ETH was at $14. It was fine, you know, like I shouldn't have lost that much, but because of the huge spike down, what happened was that it liquidated my position, and then I just had literally like 30-40 bucks on that exchange. I was just like, oh wow, I got completely wrecked here, which is one of the reasons why, like, I learned this very early on, right? Which is why I stopped touching leverage, and even to this day I still don't have heavy leverage. Yes, I did have I did buy the dip this week, but that was for very special circumstances. So usually when I touch leverage, that's because my funds are either locked up, or I don't have the funds to buy it on spot, or I'm making a trade on protected account. But yeah, you know, that's the flash crash. So it does happen, and it's happening quite a lot. So I guess just be careful. It still can happen right now because of how crazy China is. But yeah. So Nate, you've been taking profits on the way up, so you've been a little bit smarter. What's your strategy this time? Is it dollar cost averaging? Is it not financial advice, of course, but what's your strategy right now?
My strategy is to just buy a little bit every dip. So so I buy in increments. So every time there's an all-time high, I sell a little bit, and every time there's every time there's a low, I buy a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's maybe like 5%, 1%, whatever it is, you know, and I just keep buying all the way down. I keep accumulating, and it's worked out really well. I haven't really lost a lot of money. And something else that I wanted to point out.
Understatement of the century, right? I mean, just to fill in the story here, I've known Nate since 2017, and we've been like really good friends. And you know, I've known that he's been buying for quite a long time too. Like especially, you know, he's been around. Like he never gave up on crypto throughout the entire bear cycle, right? 2018, 2019, 2020. So I think that's the understatement of the century. But yeah, so keep going.
Yeah. So something that I did see, I was trying to look for it. It was I think it was a tweet by either BitBoy or CryptoLark. It was like a graph saying that, you know, it's been in 2017, 372 days after the halving, there was a flash crash, and then in 2013, I think it was also 373 days there was a flash crash, and then now I think today is 372 days after the halving, something like that. So like around this time, after all of the cycles after the halving, around 370 days, there's always the price has always been what it is now, and it's always been the indicator of like the big run that comes after it.
It could. It could. I wouldn't rule that out yet. Like so long as we survive this, I think that's going to be good. And you know, finally we're retesting this a few times, but I think the halving has a little bit to do with it. Obviously, the China FUD always happens. I think it's a pattern that happens, right? The halving always causes the markets to move up, and then at some point throughout the middle of that movement up, there's always a huge amount of FUD news. Like this, almost the exact same story almost happened in 2017, right? The China FUD came in, China exchange ban, China ICO ban, same thing that happened. And I think this time it's a little bit more without warning, I would say. Like it kind of happened very quickly, and I think right now, like I think a lot of people are feeling the pain because no matter what coin you're holding, it's dumping, right? That's the crazy part, right? Okay, some of them are up the last 24. I'm gonna put out the 7 days. That makes a lot more sense. So the only coins that are stable right now are the stable coins, right? Apart from Helium. Helium is probably the exception here, and then everything else is like
it's bloody.
It's bloody. It's like past week, it's all just like down like 20 to 70%. Oh my god, Terra's down.
Ooh, yeah, dude, I have yeah, that hurts. I lost on Luna. I got in Luna around $11.
Jesus, so. It's bloody. It's very bloody. I mean, even Polkadot's down, EOS is down. Like all the hot tokens are down, right? The ones that had generated a lot of hype, they're all down.
I did see a question from the audience earlier. they donated to the channel. They're asking about a comment. They were asking for a comment for the exploit on Cake.
I'll take a look. I actually haven't. So thank you, Jordan, for that. I haven't actually read that, to be honest, today. So I was mostly focused on China FUD. So I'll get onto that like maybe next session. So apologies. I'll read up on that and I'll comment on that when
I'll also look into it.
when I can. So obviously, two big coins are down. I think there's two things. I'll move a little bit to the China segment because I really want to get this talked about. But yeah, OKB and Huobi are down. And I'll cover a little bit of China. So I have this clip here. I'm not sure if you guys seen this, but this is what the Chinese market feels like right now. Like everyone is fleeing. Everyone is just like, oh my God, you know, Bitcoin is falling. It's like it's total collapse. This is actually a footage of the massive Saiga Plaza. Actually, this is like not sure if you guys just search this up. So this is the SEG Plaza. Apparently, it was wobbling. It was this week actually. It was a scary time. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Like this giant skyscraper, right? It was wobbling. If you see that, like the top of the building was just like literally wobbling. And you know, unexpectedly, there's no earthquake, there's no nothing. But yeah, this is what exactly the Chinese market feels like. People are just fleeing, right? So I'll talk about the two factors that this is happening, and I'll address both of these things. So first and foremost, all right. So I'll talk about the exchange, the current situation with the exchanges, and I'll talk a little bit about the mining situation too. So first and foremost, just a recap of what's happening in China is that yes, China did ban cryptocurrency exchanges. They banned ICOs all the way back in 2017. So I think we all know that by now. But before that, obviously, before the China ban, there was a huge Chinese population trading cryptocurrencies. I mean, China being such a big economy, and people actually do believe that in Bitcoin, especially Chinese miners, there was a huge community there. So what happened in 2017 was that these big exchanges were told to kind of exit China. And in a way, they did this kind of very passively, but they still stuck around a little bit. So both OKX and Huobi, they're the two largest exchanges. So Huobi and OKX, they have a huge presence in China, and they still do to this day. So did all Chinese leave trading crypto? Obviously not, right? So I think that's very clear, and I need to make that very clear to everyone that even though these exchanges have been banned, what happened was that OTCs really popped up and kind of filled in the role of exchanges. And there's quite a lot of fever in China as well. So if you look at projects like both EOS and Polkadot, they have a huge presence in China, right? So the Chinese communities really love them, and Chinese funds are really active during this time. So even though, yes, on paper they are banned, there's still a huge Chinese community, big Chinese community, and lots of holders of both Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other coins in China, VeChain, and lots of holders. So that's, and what was kind of interesting was that towards 2020, the end of 2020, China was actually very positive towards Bitcoin. So I think on a global scale, what was happening was that China was looking, and they were like doing this trade war with the US, and the narrative was changing so that they were favoring kind of cryptocurrencies a little bit. So you know that China has always been big on blockchain, but even during the blockchain push last year, they were talking about, oh, you know, Ethereum had performed very well on state TV. This is like the mouthpiece of the Chinese government. They were like, oh, Ethereum, look at that. That's been doing very well. Oh, look at Bitcoin. Right, so they both put this on the news, and we've shown that segment of the news during our live streams last year. So there was almost like a pro cryptocurrency movement. Like the Chinese government side were favoring that. People were kind of expecting OK and Huobi to open up this year to kind of say, oh look, maybe there'll be there'll be legal again. Right, so it was almost to a tune that, like, you know, the Chinese were kind of expecting things to go very pro crypto. However, last week this all changed. So last week the statement was issued to say, you know what, it's no longer kosher. Companies can't touch cryptocurrencies anymore. So companies such as, you know, Meitu, we know that Meitu bought Bitcoin just like how Elon Musk bought Bitcoin with their company treasury. Meitu did the same thing. They're a Chinese a company that publicly bought Bitcoin. So that was no longer kosher. And then this also set a wave of other attacks on Bitcoin, right? So we saw with Hong Kong, there was new regulation coming in. This was largely discussed, Hong Kong cryptocurrency, crypto. And it was kind of very, very much like, so this is Hong Kong banning retail investors. Let me just throw this up. Let me throw this up on the screen right now. So they announced a proposal to ban retail from crypto trading. So right now, a lot of exchanges have a base in Hong Kong, right? So this is why Hong Kong matters a lot. But if this regulation passes, which will still be a while, right? But they will limit Hong Kong access to crypto. So you need to be a wealthy individual of above $1 million net worth, US dollar net worth, to be able to purchase crypto. So it's no longer easy. This is kind of pending on the way. But the announcement of this, like this kind of reiteration of this, happened last week. So it was almost immediate. Like China does something and boom, it seems like everyone was just kind of following suit. Now, two other things came up during this time, which I alluded to earlier, which was the exchanges. So both the original founders and the true owners of the Chinese exchanges, Huobi and OKX, are in China. So Starshu and Leon, they're both in China. They both actually can't leave China. So they have been rumored to go and being under police questioning over the weekend. So that was one of the rumors that popped up over the China, and Chinese are very afraid of this, right? And the last time this happened, so I'll just put this up. The last time this happened was, let me put this up here. This is kind of funny, and a lot of people didn't read too much into it. So this December the 1st. All right, so this was a 5-month freeze on withdrawals on OKX, and so on October the 16th last year, OKX was forced to suspend all account withdrawals when an unnamed holder of the keys of the cryptocurrency assets was detained by police and apparently assist an investigation, right? So if people read between the lines, people knew that this was referring to Starshu. And he was the only one that held the keys to OKX exchange, and OKX had no choice but to freeze withdrawals on that exchange. So this happened. There are just precedents for this. This is why this fear really matters, right? So yet again, so this hasn't happened right this time, but people are afraid that this is happening. So it's yet again, it's a situation where people are they're selling the rumor, buying the news potentially, right? Because there's a rumor now that both OKX and Huobi leaders are now in questioning, and then people are afraid that something like this could happen again. So Chinese traders, they don't want their funds to be frozen. They don't want anything wrong to happen to their exchange. So that's happening. There's also additional FUD. Let me see if that I have my.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember the OKX thing. I thought it was over. I didn't know they were going to recover from that, so I'm surprised they're still around.
Well, it's not that they haven't recovered. It's just that their leaders cannot leave China. Right. So there's this talk about Beijing being a zoo. So if you go to Beijing, like all the crypto people are there. Like the big crypto early investors and the exchange guys are there. So both Star, Leon, and there, but they cannot leave, right? So they literally are held in China because of what they've done, and the Chinese government can question them whenever. So it's a way of just kind of it's a way of like it's I would say it's like soft power, but it's not really soft power. It's actually hard power because they have the physical person there, right? So it is just full-on power that the Chinese government has over these exchange leaders and big whales in crypto as well. A lot of the early investors, if they've ever done or touched an ICO, they're pretty much held by the Chinese government in China, and they can't leave. So yeah, so it's the colloquial thing is that it's a joke that it's like a whale there. The other article that I was kind of seeing is this is the Hong Kong Economic Digest, and it's like crypto no. So this is the other FUD piece. It's got this guy here. Crypto no. Crypto no, or crypto, yeah, crypto. So yeah, it's obviously there's a huge FUD article piece on there. There's a huge hit piece on crypto. Also, this guy is saying that Binance is going to go down. So like these geniuses are coming up, are like, oh yeah, Binance is going to go down. It's just like, I think it's mainstream media FUD. Like, this is how mainstream media operates. They're like, oh, let's make the biggest, fuddiest piece and try to pull people into buying our.
Yeah, well, that's how media works in general, right? You want the most clicks, so I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't need to really fact check anything. You just gotta say whatever just to get the clicks. I mean, so long
someone's saying it, right?
Right. As long as they can, yeah.
This is the worst. I mean this article. I just want to say that this magazine.
Where'd you get? You just pick it up?
I got this in 7-Eleven actually. I bought this. I was passing 7-Eleven. I got this, and I saw this. Oh, crypto, no, all right. But this guess how much price? How much this costs? This. I need to block it out. How much this magazine costs? Okay, it's in color. It's got pictures of people inside. Guess how much it costs?
$15
US dollars.
15.
50. How? Okay, which currency? US dollars or Hong Kong dollars?
1.5 USD.
USD, all right. So it costs $3 US.
Oh dang! So
it's like these magazines obviously sponsored, right? Like $3, you can't print something like this of this quality and hire designers and stuff. Like, they're obviously sponsored, and it's like that's how mainstream media works, right? Like, especially in Asia, it's just like, let's just put all max fear, like crank up the fear meter, get all those clicks. Sell these magazines because they have a bunch of ads inside, right? But anyway, so that's one of the things that's happening. So people are thinking Binance might close down, OK might close down, Huobi might close down. Obviously, the latest on this is that it's still very much fear and starting to doubt. But Huobi has done some action. So if you look at it, Huobi will stop providing like services to purchase Chinese machines. They'll stop leverage for Chinese customers. They've done a bit, but they've also said, their operations are fine. It's 一切正常. It's all normal, guys, and they're gonna go and sue anyone who is spreading false rumors about them. So that's kind of the current take on the Chinese exchange situation. So it's mostly the rumors that are biting right now. And the exchanges themselves have come out to defend themselves. So on that note, but so we got a question from Zaman 2008 says, where is Binance headquarters? So if you ask the official Binance statement, they're headquartered everywhere. They're decentralized. They're decentralized everywhere. So I'm gonna, for their safety, I'm not gonna say where their offices are. I think I know 2 offices, but I think that's for another discussion for another day. But Herman on says, is CZ in China? No, CZ has not set foot in China for a long time. He has not set foot in both US and he has not set foot in China for a long time. So this is kind of something I track as well. Like, I look at photos to see where everyone is. Like, so say if there's a major conference like Consensus, so CZ was missing from Consensus, right? Like, if you remember Consensus, I think 2018, 2019, CZ wasn't there, even though it's probably one of the largest conferences in crypto. And I think that one of the reasons why is because it's in the US. I think, all right, it's my theory, right? Like, no official confirmation. And CZ does not go to China. That's what I know. So because he's very, very neutral. All right, so Binance is right now, I think they're registered in Malta. So their registration is in Malta, but they have offices and they have employees everywhere around the world. I think that's the official statement. I don't really think like all this Binance FUD is just people making it up. There's no substantial evidence to it. But yet again, people can spread fear, and that's usually what happens. Like I said early on, spread sell the rumors. Maybe buy the news when it comes up. So. Yep. All right. The other thing is mining. So mining is also very highlighted. So it seems like it's a two-front attack. Exchanges and mining. That's what the Chinese government knows that crypto is all about, exchanging and mining. So the other one is related to mining, and there might be another crackdown on mining. And historically, this has almost always happened. As like it happened, like if you look up China bans mining, you're gonna find China bans mining.
All the time.
You're gonna see years of articles saying China has banned mining. So all the way from this year, but like there's 2020. Let me see if there's a way to search 2020. You know, it's like a continuous episode of drama, right? It's like okay, let's do this.
2013 they had. I think it was
2019. I think
2013.
Okay, Google favors new news. All right, so Google favors new news, but yeah, it's like, you know, recently China vows to ban crypto mining again, right? I mean, if you've been in the crypto, you know this pops up like every single time.
But it works every time. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they've done it so many times, but it's worked every time. It keeps working. Like people keep believing it. You know.
So yeah. So okay. Why do you think that is? So, okay, why do you think it's hard to ban mining then? All right, let's test Nate's knowledge. Test Nate's knowledge, guys. All right, why is it hard to ban mining?
Well, if they ban mining in a certain country, it just opens up the opportunity for anyone else in a different country. And you know, most of the miners are in China, so if they do shut down the miners in China, then that might be actually a good thing to some people. You know, I think
some people.
To some people believe, you know, if they don't want all the miners to be concentrated over there, then maybe, you know, the little guy gets a chance, right? I can go out and buy a Antminer S9 or something, and maybe I can have a chance to win a block.
Exactly.
You know, so I think, I mean, Bitcoin's died 400 times. If you look up bitcoinobituaries.com, like everyone's been saying it's been dead, and it's like it's like fungus. If you know how fungus works, like on like a molecular level, like you can't kill fungus. It will kill you before, you know what I mean? And that's what it's like. That's why we have the mycelium wallet. It's like, that's also based on fungus. And dude, fungus can't be stopped, man. That's why I like Bitcoin. I like fungus.
So we're fungus. So Nate says we're fungus. So, all right.
I don't know if that's a good analogy, but yeah, essentially.
But I think it is also like that because like the issue with mining is that a lot of miners stay very quiet, right? So if you're a miner, okay, think of it like if you put yourselves in the mindset of a miner, right? And you see, you know, the Chinese government, they're out for blood. You know, what's your first reaction? Would you go out and issue a public statement and say, yo, it's legit, don't worry, I have my mine, here's my photo of it, right? Here's my address, right? Because that would be the last thing you want to do, right? Because if the moment you do that, there's going to be a car coming in and arresting both you and your mine. But what most miners do is that they're very stealthy. They have like containers, and so long as they're very discreet about what they do. So a lot of times what they do is they make a they make a connection with a local government official and say, yo, look, I want cheap power, I want your low priority power, and just find me a place, right? And you know, they can bring these containers full of mining rigs and then start mining. It's very, very discreet, right? The key word is very discreet. Like they just pay off the people and say, yo, don't talk about it, which makes it very hard to track down who the big miners are and where they are located, because this process can happen anywhere, whether it's in Pakistan, whether it's in Nigeria, whether it's in China or Southeast Asia. It's a situation where real miners want to be extremely discreet. So it's also very, very hard to shut down. And when they do see something like this happening, when they do see the government's out for blood, there's two things that they can really do, right? One is they can throw a decoy with their old machines. So you know how miners, the new generations come and the old ones become very quickly obsolete. It's like iPads, right? Or like iPhones, right? You know, 2 generations down, you don't want your shitty iPhone 8 or whatever anymore, right? You want to throw that away. You're like, okay, sure, I'm going to leave my iPhone 8 there. You guys take that and say, look, you know, the government can take that and then say, look, you know, we shut down the miners. Look at how many mining machines we got over here, right? And if they take a big PR piece on that and say, yo, hey, look, this is all the mining gear, and then it turns out, you know, they're all obsolete models. So that's kind of what's happening with the mining stuff. Like right now, it's very hard to keep tabs on what's happening, but what's happening is also the miners are a little bit spooked right now. So I was actually in the chat group with Dovey Wang and earlier on Twitter, and she has a lot of miner friends, like, you know, the big miners in China. So they're a little bit spooked, and they're in the process of moving most of the rigs out of China. So wherever they are, if they are already in China, they're moving that out, and they're either fire sailing it for cheap, anticipating something might happen, right? So they're doing the defensive maneuvers already. And I was initially thinking of why they would dump if this was the case. And I think one of the reasons why is that if they have Bitcoin already, because of the operational expense of moving overseas, it does cost fiat money, right? You can't pay like these you can't pay to move your miners out of China in crypto, right? So it feels like there is a defensive dump from the miners in China who could be affected by this. There could be some new announcement. They've got rumors on the street already, so they got their feelers out. And right now, what I can tell you is that they think there's a considerable amount of certainty that some of them, like the government's going to hit hard, so they're moving already out. But at the same time, they're selling a little bit of crypto on the side. So that's kind of the two FUD bits. It might come back to hit more. I mean, obviously, these are the rumors. I mean, obviously, I'm prepared for it now. But yeah, it feels like that's pretty much it. Two things. Two big FUD factors. So someone was asking me earlier if I'm looking at the charts or any of the TA. I'm not really looking too much at the TA. For me, this market, I'm kind of analyzing the socials to see where we're going next. I mean, that seems to be my biggest focus right now, where TA is a little bit hard in this volatile market, especially if you look at I'll talk about that in a sec. So Nate, do you have any news on your side that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I got a couple links.
Yeah, so let's go on. So those are two China FUD bits, and I hope I answered those. It's mostly sell the rumors by the news, but that seems to be the case. Not financial advice, but it seems to be the case that the fear is there.
Yeah. So what's up, Box Mining family? So I do have some news here on the western half of the world. A lot of us are.
Let me throw you on. Do you want me to throw your screen on?
Yeah, do it.
All right. Just okay. So I'm throwing your screen on now. So I see a double. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so most of us are still very bullish. As you can see here, the Bitcoin whales have accumulated 122.5k BTC, and they said that it was actually Anthony Pompliano who purchased it, and a lot of these other funds. So we're accumulating right now. A lot of us are still buying the dip. I know Michael Saylor's buying a ton. My thinking is that surely we can't fall past what Michael Saylor bought at, right? He bought, his average is 24k. So I'm thinking that maybe, well, even though he's one of us, I think that we'll be all right. Here's some mixed news though. The US government is circulating a questionnaire for EtherDelta hack victims. As you guys know, in 2017, there was an EtherDelta hack. And so this says that the U.S. Attorney General and Secret Service have put out a request for information. So this does not mean that they're accusing anybody of anything yet. They're just looking out for their own people. And
I mean, this is how news go. This is how government agencies operate, right? EtherDelta, if you guys remember, was a pretty big exchange back in 2017. But yeah, it takes like 4 or 5 years to even like process something like that. So yeah, so now they're asking questions, right? So 4 years later, they're like, yeah, here's a questionnaire.
Here, answer this. I mean, that's how the machine works. It's a little slower on our end. We like to be thorough. All right, so that's a joke, by the way. So here's something I found very interesting. This is here's a picture I found. So in 2016 and 2017, 372 days after the halving, look at this chart. This is today. You see this arrow? It says that's the crash, right? That was in 2016 and 2017. And now you have, or actually no, yeah. And then so you have the same thing in 2012 as well. And then this is day 373. This is today. So, I mean, clearly,
coincidence?
I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I don't think it's a coincidence. It's just too on point to be coincidence. It's like literally 372 or 373 days after every halving, there's this crash. So I don't know if it's the crypto gods at work or
there
what
must be a logical explanation. I'm like, there must be.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's the FUD that you're talking about. Maybe it's the news, or maybe it's that the market is cyclical and that it repeats itself. I don't really know.
It almost always repeats itself. That's the scary thing about this market. Like that's why these trends show up. I mean, crypto's been around not a very short period of time, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then so obviously the DeFi tokens took a hit. You know about the whole Pancake Bunny attack, and everything is going down. But I mean, listen, I think this is the time to kind of hold on. You know, I think everything is still good. I had this open earlier, and look at this. The fear and greed index right now is extreme fear. And you know, Warren Buffett, one of the most successful people on the planet, although he doesn't believe in Bitcoin, he did say to be greedy when others are fearful. If everyone's fearful, now's the time to be greedy. And when everybody was greedy before, to be fearful. So I think he got extremely wealthy doing the things his way, and crypto is the way that we all as a community are also going to, you know, follow in his footsteps. So we're going to do it our own way, but the market on a macro level, it's all pretty similar. So that's all I got for today. I hope that this can kind of give you guys a little bit of where my head is at and what is happening in our space.
Thanks.
I mean, yeah. We can take some questions, or yeah, I'd be glad to kind of talk to the chat and see what everybody else thinks, and just really hear from the community, you know.
Yeah. So, so yeah, Sea of Red, Bleed the Dead. We got Joe says Warren Buffett's overloaded with cash. Honestly, he's missed not only crypto but booming stock market because he's too cash heavy. I think like I don't know why people love to worship Warren. Like I don't know.
Well,
I guess.
Well, he's a billionaire, right? And so I mean, we as Americans think that, you know, he himself on his interview says that he was born in the right time. He was really good at, you know, searching commodities, but how I can see how he became successful was that he was looking through all the equity. He was looking through all the shitcoins. You know, we sit there, we look at the crypto charts. When he sat there and he said that he read through every pamphlet on the stock market, and he went heavy into the ones that he thought had long-term value. And I mean, a lot of us here, we like him because he is extremely successful. And he might be a little bit outdated now, but on the West, he's one of the people that we kind of like example after. You know, he's just like American, hardworking, likes routine, and kind of just like that kind of person, you know. So
I think Warren, sorry to interrupt you there, but I think Warren is very different in his phases, right? And I think this happens when, like, depending on how much money he has, he went through, you know, this aggressive phase, and then now he's probably in this retirement phase, right? It's like he doesn't really care anymore as long as he's like making some, you know, mild gains, he's fine, and most of the stuff he's talking about. So I think you can definitely tell how aggressive a person is by how they think of the market, right? If they like, I guess like because he's managing so much funds as well, and it's not just age based, right? The more funds you manage, the more kind of safe you need to play it. So if you're just targeting like 5 to 6% annual gains per year, then you know your strategy is very different because you know, you don't want to go aggressive. But if you look at the other side, you look at Chamath. Chamath is super aggressive right now. Right? He's going out, you know, doing everything that he can on the playbook, right? Whether it's crypto or, you know, these special purpose companies, like it's a little bit crazy, right? So I think if you look at the early years of Warren Buffett as well, he's very, very aggressive. He went aggressively into pink sheets, which is like kind of like the altcoins of the stock market.
Right.
Like so I think like you have to take it differently, but I think people kind of emphasize Warren here, but yeah.
Well, he's not an expert in crypto. You know, he's not an expert in crypto, and that's the thing. It's like, and Elon is really smart too, but he's also, you know, not an expert in crypto. That's what, like, everybody has their own strength. If it was coming down to rockets, dude, like rocket science, bro, Elon is hands down the one to do, you know, the one to follow. But it's like when it comes to Doge and working with developers and crypto, like there's other experts in the field that we can all follow, you know. And I think everybody has their strengths. We're all human. Nobody's perfect. And I think at the end of the day, it's like Warren Buffett knows commodities. That's what he got rich off of, was oil, you know, gold, Coca-Cola. And he doesn't know anything about crypto. And so for me to listen to him about crypto would be my flaw, you know, just to think that, just to worship him and think that he's good at literally everything. But that's not true. Mm-hmm.
So I also want to just put out one tweet here. So let me just throw this up on the screen. So this is Sam Trabucco. Sam Trabucco is FTX Alameda, right? So he has definitely a lot of information. I'm sure he gets a lot of access to all the leverage data, internal data that's happening on FTX exchange. And he was talking about this dip, and there's a long thread. I'll post this here, but I think there was just one point to highlight, right? So what he's highlighting is that this weekend there's very little volume. So and you know, during the weekends, it does happen where institutional traders, you know, they have the weekend off and the volume is low. And what he's saying here is, let me just read this. So I think low liquidity / volume combined to mean this dip is not really what the market thinks is right. It's really what a smallish fraction thinks is right. The broader market might want to sell more or buy it back. Who knows? But all I specifically expect is elevated volume. So this is weekend bleed out, right? So weekends, the volume is low and there's massive panic in China. That's what we know. So these two combined factors really took crypto down. Did I expect crypto to go down so much? No, not at all. Like I kind of expected crypto to bounce up and recover from this, but because of the just amount of sheer blood on the streets on this weekend, that's the low volume plus liquidations. That's what's really happening at this current point. But now that the market is picking up, so now we have we're entering Monday right now here in Asia, and then that's going to be in 12 hours. So U.S. market's going to open up. We're going to have to see. That's where the majority of the market will think. That's where we have a bigger representation of what's happening. So I thought that was kind of cool. But that's kind of a good view on the weekend. But obviously, if you're on the weekend and you're just browsing crypto and you're seeing these markets crash like this, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll get through it. What can we do?
Exactly.
Stay strong. Yeah.
Stay strong. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So Smarks Kills Wrestling said, is LINA dead? No, I don't think so. I think a lot of these altcoins, like especially the altcoin bleed out, we also saw a lot of funds also selling altcoins. So that's why in many ways, like yes, ETH is bleeding out, but also altcoins are bleeding out more than ETH at this current point. It's pretty darn savage, to be honest. But at the same time, I feel like we're at a point where it's good for the market to rethink, maybe not so aggressively rethink, but yeah, I think this week, during the week, we're gonna have better representation of what's happening. I think right now it's pure panic, right? Like it feels like, and doesn't feel like it. It's pretty much evident that it's pure panic because everything is going down across the board, regardless of whether this is a good project, shit project, meme project. Who the hell cares? It's all going down. So that's the kind of the immediate knee-jerk reaction to all the panic, fearful sellers. And I think this market also attracted a lot of people who are new and they're not used to the China FUD, right? Like if everyone was used to the China FUD, this would have been, over soon. But a lot of Chinese aren't even used to China FUD. This is like a lot of Chinese are just like, oh my god, this is my first rodeo, ha ha ha. And then just panic selling. So, anyways, that's my take. But yeah, so guys, do you want to do some Q&A and we'll wrap the session? I still haven't eaten breakfast yet. I'm super hungry actually. I got some cookies here. That's my breakfast.
Ooh, nice. Get some coffee too.
Yep. So should we just guys
take some questions? Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Yeah. So Nate, if you have any questions you want to pick up to answer, sure.
Yeah, let me look. Let's see. You have to switch over to the chat real quick. Does TrueBit have back? Oh, there you go.
You go first. It's just always a delay, so apologies if you cut you short. There's always a delay at this, so apologies. You go first, Nate.
Does TrueBit have enough backend to become a true layer 2 player? And if not, I'll add a second part question. What do you think is the leading layer 2 player right now?
Do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer that?
I was asking. You told me to pick a question for you. So.
all right. I'll answer that. Everyone likes MATIC right now. Polygon, but I think there are definitely a lot of competitors. The issue with layer 2, and I think this is something for everyone to understand, is even the programmers don't know. And this also happens, like this happened a lot during when programmers are programming for something completely new and that hasn't been done before. It's not immediately obvious which solution is the best. So right now, in terms of layer 2, there's many versions, right? Like Plasma, you get optimistic rollouts, ZK rollups, optimism. So there's many different approaches, and all of them have their strengths and drawbacks. So some of them have very long withdrawal times, some of them have faster withdrawal times, but they're not as secure. There's always a trade-off. So there's going to be many. I'm not too sure about TrueBit, to be honest. I'm not, I haven't looked too much into it. That's something quite new. But right now, people love MATIC a lot, MATIC/Polygon. But who knows? I mean, there's also OMG. They're coming up with something else. It's uncertain, and I think that's the best way to put it right now.
Word. Do you have a question? I have more. I found a bunch. A lot of people are asking them.
All right, you ask questions. I'll answer questions. How about that?
Okay, cool. So what do you think about Sunday swap? So from my knowledge, I believe it's a Cardano DEX. It's a DEX.
I have no idea. No idea. Okay. So do you know? If you know, you should tell. You should answer. So it's a Cardano DEX.
We'll see, man. I think Cardano DEX is a good idea. You need to have the wallets to interact with it. Essentially, it's like, Pancake Swap for BSC as what, Sunday Swap will be for Cardano DEX. But I'll see it when it comes out. I think it's coming out Tuesday. So I don't really know because it's still like the first one of its kind. So, I mean, it's got to work. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, then, that's also a lot of bad feedback. So yeah, the answer is I don't really know. I think it's promising, but I don't know if it's going to be, the savior. Got another question. What's your current portfolio strategy?
Oh, that's a good question. For me personally, so my HODL has remained the same HODL. I'm smiling because there's been massive bleed outs on my HODL. Obviously, I've held Ethereum, Bitcoin, VeChain, all of them are down half, and that takes up the biggest part of my portfolio. Then I have alts. Then I have my mid tier and alts. Both of them are taking heavy losses. I just put that out there. It's unpleasant. It's not happy. I wish I can be, smiling when that happens. But, as a human being, obviously, when you see numbers go down, it's not very exciting. So my strategy during this dip is that I've started buying into this, and I've deployed funds buying the major currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, because I feel like during this time, for personal strategy, not financial advice, obviously, because I feel like they still have the strongest backbone, right? If anything's going to move, the backbone has to move, right? So that's why in both Bitcoin and Ethereum, I've been entering positions. I've started looking at altcoin shopping, but I haven't really gone too aggressively into it. I'm kind of just waiting, sitting on the sidelines a little bit, but the discounts are quite tempting.
Good answer. Yeah, I'm just kind of laughing about it as well. I feel like I don't know if you've seen any war movies, but it's like when there's grenades dropping next to them and everyone just starts laughing. All the soldiers are yeah, this is great, because dark times you find humor.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like right now. I'm just ouch.
Exactly. I had a question about Ethereum 2.0. So I think a lot of people are asking about. You guys are awesome. I'm doing tons of. Are you bullish on ETH 2.0? Do you think, in the case of mining crackdown, the crypto community will favor mining less protocols? So staking, I think, will be huge. I think on your side as well, right, Nate? Environmentalism is becoming a big topic now. Yeah,
sustainability and green energy. That's huge. But a lot of people. There was a 2019 University of Cambridge report that showed that 60% of all of the the Bitcoin hash power was from renewable energy. There's
exactly that's the biggest issue. But I think the narrative has already got there already. So it's even though it's been disproven that Bitcoin is it's been disproven that Bitcoin is the biggest environmental impactor or some crazy thing. All the FUD that's happening on Bitcoin not being green and stuff, that's been disproven already. But the narrative is there, right? So once the narrative is there, the public is just pushing for greener stuff. So I see that coming.
Yeah, proof of stake is good. I think it's good, but the only thing that I'm worried about is the people with the largest stake get more of the largest stake, and they get to validate. You know what I mean? So that's the barrier to entry to anybody new is going to be lower and lower, higher and higher for proof of stake. It's going to be harder and harder for people to get in because they're just not going to be able to stake as much as a whale, you know, and won't have as much voting power. They won't be able to make any decisions, and they won't. Their chances of winning a block are going to be much lower as well. So.
Yeah, so they either buy big or not go home, right? That's the biggest problem with proof of stake. So we'll see. I kind of see that, like I see that's probably the biggest argument. There's two arguments against proof of stake. One is that it's not as secure a proof of work. The other one is that the rich will always get richer, like the stakers who stake. People who already hold it it favors strongly the people who hold it. But at the same time, you kind of see that the miners are just getting the best out of it, and the miner community is very small. So I would say, like, the counter argument to that is like, okay, sure, if you distribute coins outside of the stakers and you give it to the miners, then the miners have a huge impact. And during FUD events like this, like they have to migrate their farms, sell the coin. I don't know. Who knows? So, I don't know.
Yeah, good answer. I have one from the homie Troy. You let me know if there's too many questions, by the way. I'll just keep going.
All right, last question.
He said, any good game tokens to keep an eye on?
Hard.
At this time, you're like, I don't know.
No, I'll put this out there, right? So video game tokens and NFTs. So for me, I've been in the gaming industry, right? And I'm very skeptical of the gaming industry. That's kind of the worst part about me, which is like, you think that coming from the gaming industry, I'll be jumping up and down because I see the potential. I do see the potential. However, also I've been in the video game space where most companies die. So in the video game space, I've done two sides. I've done both game dev and I've done kind of licensing of games, which is like we get a whole portfolio of games and we take it to other countries to license. And something that we see there is we see the statistics and we see the deaths as well. Because we license these products, like it's very fast. Like a publisher can take them on. If it doesn't work out, throw them away. If it works out, great, good for you. The biggest issue I see now is that I think a lot of people don't understand how much failure there is in the gaming space. So a lot of people have a lot of opportunity to get hurt. And the second issue is that I don't think most of these games are there yet in terms of game design. So most of them are just copying a traditional game and saying, yo, look, that model kind of works. Let's copy it. So say something like Gods Unchained. If you guys look that up, that was a big budget attempt to make a AAA game, but they failed because, well, they essentially did what Blizzard said that they would never do. So if you actually look at Hearthstone, which is the game that Gods Unchained copied, Blizzard made a really good analysis on why they took a trading card game and disabled trading. And the bottom line is that they need to make money, that they need to make a lot of money off an average player. And if they allow these players to trade cards, well, they're just not gonna keep it. All right. They're not gonna spend the amount of money they would. So I think that was a very clear example where a lot of this information has been shared by the game design community of why certain things wouldn't work. So two big videos I recommend for people who are looking at game development is there was a GDC postmortem on Diablo 3 and why trading didn't work. Diablo 3 GDC. Let me see. Okay, burning. All right, this one. I'll show this one now. So this is one I will recommend if you guys are into gaming. Against the Burning Hells, Diablo 3's Road to Redemption with Reaper of Souls. This is a 2015 GDC session, and it's like this knowledge is already out there, and they talk explicitly why trading ruined Diablo 3. So like this is actually quite interesting. They're like, there's a lot there, but one of the bits there was explicitly like, people went in and basically played medieval auction house. That's what Diablo 3 became, and it wasn't fun. So I would recommend anyone to kind of like who's in this crypto scene to just watch this video. Cryptogram says the Diablo real money auction house was a real mess, and it screwed the game up on many levels. Like this type of auctioning of game items screwed the game up on many levels. And I would say right now most crypto community doesn't realize this, and they're still throwing money into gaming anyway. So there's two factors. Like, so you can probably still flip something in crypto, but the core is that I feel like we're not approaching the subject the right way. So I feel like we don't have a solid foundation yet, but people are still speculating on Axie Infinities or like their and Decentraland, which I don't know why people would buy that stuff, but whatever, right? People like something I think I underestimated in crypto is that crypto has a huge amount of people with high net worth. That's why the NFT thing really took off. It's because people are freaking rich here, and they need a way to spend some of that ETH, or they can't even cash out that ETH, so they're just going to willing to spend it anyways. Which is why we have these news breaking NFT stuff. What I feel is that there's substantial value in NFTs. Don't get me wrong. There's substantial value in NFTs, but however, people speculating here needs to take it with a grain of salt that a lot of things, will work out and not work out. So anyways, yeah, so there you go. So I mean, Kaido says, boxers dunk on mana. I mean, look, with Decentraland, you're buying land for a game that has no people in it, right? Like, mana is for people. Let's face it. Mana is for people who are OG crypto people. They have tons of money, nowhere to spend it, and they're willing to buy property in somewhere that no one lives. I mean, congrats.
Yeah, the housing market is too expensive in real life, so they're like, all right, just buy some houses on digital. Yeah.
I mean, let's go. If you don't believe me, take a look. Let's go visit Decentraland. Let's see how many. Let's see the huge community of players that play in there. It's gonna be like World of Warcraft, right? Packed servers,
Leroy Jenkins.
Way more players in Decentraland than on World of Warcraft. After how many years again? Ooh, this is a Genesis city. Wow, they've upgraded it. I do have to say that they did a good job on their game, but at the same time, I'm like, oh wow, they have intro. Wow, whoa, this is amazing. Yes, I want to skip the intro. Thank you very much. Yes, let me skip this. Oh wow, whoa, they have stuff in here now.
Hey,
woo!
Hey, look at that Doge. This is a buff Doge. He's just chilling.
Look at the population here.
Yeah,
this is a giant city. This is popping, right? It's like look at how full, look how packed these streets are.
It looks like season 8. What was that? Apex Legends. That building looks like an Apex Legends map.
Oh my god. All right, enjoy, guys. Anyways, that's me enjoying my life in Decentraland. Highly popular. Maybe it's COVID. Maybe everyone's back at home because it's COVID.
Everyone's totally distancing.
There's NPCs here now. Oh my god. Oh, there's a trade center. Let's see how active the trades are there. Look at the crypto markets. Let's look at it right now. Let's look at all the people panicking. Oh, there's a robot here. Where let's look at all the traders. Let's look at where are the traders, guys? They're all dead. They all threw themselves off the window here. This is what they did. Ooh. I can't even die. That's why. All right. Anyways, guys, enjoy Decentraland, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not being a dick. All right. I'm actually hungry, so I'm more of a dick when I'm hungry. So apologies for that, guys. You guys didn't have to see that, but anyways, guys, enjoy. Anyway, all right. Let's wrap this up, Nate.
Yeah.
I'm super hungry. All right.
Yeah, go eat, man. I'm happy to be here. I do want to interact with the community more. I feel like the community is very active. The chat is just like blowing up. So I mean, if maybe I can drop like a link down below, or I can send you something. Maybe we can get some questions for the next stream. Like if there's any topics that they want us to cover, like maybe a suggestion box. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas to see how we can.
I think we could do the comment section. I mean, the comment section down below is a little bit bombed sometimes by spammers. So guys, if you guys do make a comment, there's fake box mining sending WhatsApp numbers. Just ignore that. I've been trying to ban that guy for a while, but do send a comment down below if you guys want us to talk about any topics. The next stream will be on Wednesday. So we'll catch you guys there.
Yep. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you soon. Stay strong. Hodl.
Stay strong. All right. Later, guys. Bye.